This is Triggered.
And you will be.
Take two.
Okay, guys. Yesterday, we've already recorded this episode.
Yeah.
We're recording. First of all, the episode that we recorded started off with Chantal going, wait, what am I doing? And I was like, oh, God, here we go. I'm like, press record.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's telling me this story. And I'm like, I've missed things. The whole time I'm trying to ask her questions, but she's answering me like, well, duh.
Yeah, I was like, what are you not following here?
There was no following. It was so all over the place. She's trying to answer work messages, and we were like, okay, this is not going to work right now. So,
well, we finally got to a point where Ash was like, hey, and guys, you have to understand, like, Ash is very non-confrontational. Okay. I'm very confrontational.
Yeah.
So, like, I would have stopped and been like, girl, like, this doesn't make any sense. She stops me and she goes, so I just wanted to know, is this making sense to you?
And at first she's like, yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm looking at what I'm reading from. Now, for every episode, I have two documents. I have one document that is my research document and my notes. So as I'm reading articles, as I'm pulling, affidavits and whatever, everything goes in there. But it's a mishmash because I'm literally just copying and pasting from articles, sourcing it and throwing it in this document. And then there's a second document that is my script that has like the story that I've written and it's flowing and I was reading from my notes. So Ash got a front row seat to how my brain
never want to be there again. She was like jumping around and I'm like, how did we get from point A to point F? We missed a whole something here. And then in my head, I was like, you know that thing people do when they're driving and then you kind of zone out and then you get to your destination. You're like, I don't remember getting here. That's how I felt. I was like, did I zone out? No,
it was me. It was me the whole time. So this is take two and I have my actual script today. So I'm excited to tell you this case where it makes sense to you and you know what's going on.
So real quick before we get into that, I like to go to the grocery store super duper early for two reasons.
Me too.
One, there's hardly people. Two, my grocery store will put out all the best deals first thing in the morning. So that's when I go, I get all the best deals. So anyways, the other morning I go and I'm in line and there's the sweetest looking lady and she's not a day younger than 80. Could have been in her 90s. She's got her little walker. She's in front of me and I'm loading up and there's this like young, like baby working the cash. He's like maybe probably first job, 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
Very much reminded me of my son. I'm like, oh, look at him. Like he's so cute, And then, so right away, I'm watching this lady and she's like, well, good morning. And I was like, she said that in a way. Like, as woman to woman, we know there's a tone. Yeah. And he goes, good morning, ma'am. And she's like, been a while since I had a good looking man tell me good morning.
No.
And his face is as red as a tomato, okay? And he's like, ha, ha, ha. So she is shooting her shot. Like, she was like, you're really good.
She was like, you won't know unless you try.
Right? But she's like going on, oh, you're so good. Or he goes, ma'am, would you like me to help you pack your groceries? Did you bring your own bags? She goes, well, I sure have. And I would love for you to pack my groceries. So I'm watching this play out. Okay, two things were happening simultaneously in my brain. One, I was like, This is a 15-year-old kid. Do I intervene and be like, hey, stranger danger? I don't care. I don't believe there's a difference between a woman being sexually
Well, no, there
inappropriate
isn't.
and a man.
No. Yeah.
And I will stand by that. But then also, I'm like, this woman is like, you're really good at packing those groceries. And then at the end, and I'm watching and I'm trying not to laugh, but I'm also horrified. So I've got the mom brain where I'm like picturing my own son where I want this to stop. But then
You're
the
like,
other part of
bitch.
me was like, there could be multiple things happening right now. She could have a touch of dementia. She could think she's younger than she is. Does she think
So
he's
many
older
things.
than he is? So he's like, well, have a great day, ma'am. And he did such a good job. This woman was throwing herself at this poor child.
It's so weird.
And I am like dying inside because maybe this is going to be me when I'm all demented and old, right?
It's very Hunting Wives vibe.
Right. So then as she leaves, he goes, you have a great day, ma'am. And she goes, oh, my day is never going to be better than this moment. She like sauntered off with her walker. Like she was feeling herself.
You're like, don't encourage her, son. Like,
I was just like, just let her go. Just let her go.
Just let her go, please.
But it was so funny because this was the first time when it comes to kids, you know me, I'll step in. Yeah. But this situation was so different because this is the funniest shit I've ever seen. And at one point, the kid looked at me and his eyes got really big and he was like, Grandma?
I'm dead.
Yeah,
I am dead.
I thought that was funny.
That's so funny. That is funny. Well, we're going to, I like have PTSD now from this.
Yeah, me too.
I don't say that lightly. Please don't come for me. I just am like, all right, can we get through this where it's going to make sense? You know what I'm blaming? I'm blaming Mercury retrograde. This Mercury retrograde has kicked everyone's ass.
Yep.
I think it's over now, but remember, we have a 2-week shadow period.
Yeah.
So as much as it's over, you're still going to feel some of the effects. I can't get over how many people have split up during this retrograde.
Girl, well, I discovered something crazy during this retrograde that I could never share on this podcast, but I
know. It's like everyone's crazy. I looked at Matt the other night and I was like, we deserve a gold star. Like, we made it through this retrograde.
Right.
And I still watch you. Like,
I know.
Things are good.
I just bought my husband a coffee, so we're fine.
So we're okay. I know. Okay. So this case is actually our first case we're doing from our Suggest a Case thread in our free Discord chat. We have a free Discord chat where you can come in. You can chat with the coolest people around.
And that's not us. Like, we are obviously not the coolest people. It's the people in the group.
Yeah, like they're amazing. They're from all over the world. And so it's free. And we have a thread that is you suggest a case to us. Mm-hmm. And we have a thread where you submit your own personal story because we're gathering the stories so that we can do a listener story. We're going to call it After Hours with Triggered once a month. Yeah. So come in. You can get the link on our website. You can get the link on social media. And so Abby _party of 5, this bad boy is for you. Thank you for recommending it.
And when I saw Abby Party of 5, it brought me back because that was like my favorite show when I was younger.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Yeah. So do that. And then if you're so inclined and you want ad-free listening and you want a bonus episode monthly and you want the VIP Discord chat, join our inner circle. It's $8 a month and it gets you all those lovely things.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into all of this. So this episode deals with kidnapping, murder, and sexual violence. we don't often give trigger warnings, but I've been feeling kind of compelled to kind of give a heads up before each episode recently, because there are some days where like, and I'm into true crime, but there are some days where I'm like, I don't think I can listen to a kid one today. So
Yeah.
I thought it might be nice to know about some of these right off the hop. Okay, Ashley. Today I'm telling you about Michaela Shunick. She was born in May of 1990, and everyone called her Mickey, which is so fucking cute.
I love that.
I wish I had a cute nickname. Well, I've got Telly.
Yeah, but I'm the only one that calls you that.
Truly.
And my kids.
And your kids. In the spring of 2012, she was a senior at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. She was majoring in anthropology, which I was like, girl.
I know.
Yes.
If you could have majored in anything, what would yours have been?
Crime.
Yeah.
Just crime.
I think mine would have been criminal psychology.
At any of it, I would have been down. Like if I could go back and do it over again,
yeah.
I'm either a crime scene technician. I don't know what I am, but it's crime.
Yeah.
Michaela was an artist. She was funny in the specific way that people still smile about years later when they describe it. She was hella independent, a bit stubborn, and the sort of person her friends describe with kind of affectionate exhaustion. Like they could just never quite keep up with her, which I'm like, girl after my own heart. She rode her bike everywhere. That was her thing. Like her friends knew, like her friends had cars and would take like cabs and whatever. No, Mickey, it was bike. She biked everywhere. It was practical. It was environmental, and she liked it.
I wish when I lived near the nice bike trails, I took more advantage of that. Now where I live now, my bike will get stolen.
There are some nice trails around you.
Yeah,
you
back
just have to get to them
that way. Yeah,
yeah,
not the other direction.
Her family was close. Her mother is Nancy. Her sister Charlene, who everybody calls Charlie. So we have Charlie and Mickey. Like, come on,
the sweetest names for girls.
Yeah. In an interview with Dateline, Charlie said her and Mickey weren't close until Mickey was older. So I guess there was quite a bit of an age gap between Charlie and Mickey. But once Mickey got older, Charlie was like into her.
That's my kids.
Yeah. Another thing, Charlie and Mickey look identical.
No
like
way.
It's uncanny. Like it was like mom copy and pasted. I swear to God. Like they're so similar looking. It's Friday, May 18th, 2012. A warm Louisiana evening. Mickey went to a concert with friends at a place in Lafayette called the Artmosphere, which, fuck off.
That sounds like a place I would be
creative
going.
Names. Right, the Artmosphere for a concert.
For me, 2 Feet would be there playing. Yeah.
You love 2 Feet.
I know.
This is exactly the place you would find like a creative 21-year-old on a Friday night. After the show, she rode her bike over to her friend's house, Brett Lee Wilson, over on Ryan Street, and they hung out for a little bit. At around 1:45 in the morning, so now it's technically Saturday, May 19th, Mickey got on her bike to ride home. This is something she had done a million times before. This wasn't like out of the ordinary. She did this all the time. And she had somewhere to be that morning. Her brother Zach had a graduation ceremony. He was graduating from high school.
Cute.
So it was like an exciting time. And from what I understand, he was the baby. So this was like the last high school grad.
Aww.
They were all excited. There was food being prepared and everything. And Mickey was pumped about this grad ceremony. So she knew she had to be home. Her thought was, okay, I had a great time with my friends. Going to go home, catch a couple hours of sleep, get up, get ready. The day's about Zach. The next morning, Charlie said she was surprised when her messages to Mickey were going unanswered. And she would call and her phone was off. And that wasn't like her at all. Especially because their whole family was like, where's Mickey? Like, we have to leave soon. And she hadn't shown up yet. No call, no show. And Charlie actually says in her interview, like, she was getting pissed because she was, first of all, it was so out of the ordinary for Mickey. She wouldn't pull this shit. And she was like, if she is asleep somewhere on someone's couch, I'm going to rage. Like,
murder her.
Yes,
right?
honestly, like that was it. So anger went to concern pretty quickly because the family goes and does the grad thing because Zach has to graduate. There's nothing they can do.
It would be so stressful because you're trying to enjoy, you know, your son's grad, but in the back of your head, you're like, okay, but something's wrong.
Yeah. So this is the thing that her family talks about is as much as there was that irritation of like, oh my God, I can't believe she did this. Mom and Charlie said, as soon as she wasn't there for him walking across the stage, they knew something was wrong. They knew. They were like, she wouldn't have missed this. She wouldn't have missed this. So when they get back to the house after the grad, the family reports her missing. And I need everyone to understand the lengths that this community went through once Mickey was reported missing.
Okay.
Because within hours, they had like an army looking for her, okay? Acadiana, which is the Cajun region south of Louisiana that Lafayette sits in the middle of, went all in. Volunteers turned out by the hundreds, and this was within hours. Search parties walked fields and ditches and tree lines. In an interview, Charlie said people were coming out of the bushes with like cuts, scrapes, bug bites, poison ivy. Like this community was like, our girl is missing. We gotta go.
This is so Southern. This is so
I know, we
beautiful.
Love this.
This is what I want. Like, honestly, we have, because we live, you know, we're in Ottawa and then we've got the GTA close by in Montreal. We have kids go missing and women and like anybody go missing
So
every
much.
single day. No one is even batting an eye. And that's heartbreak. It's almost like an inconvenience for people to share a post of a missing child.
I know. I read a statistic this week that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. So in the US, 1,000 kids go missing a day. In a day, guys. Right. 1,000 children. That's a kid every 90 seconds.
It's actually horrifying.
I know. Anyway. Yeah, so this is but that was not the case with this. And in my head, I'm like, how many cases do we do where we come on here and nobody takes it seriously because it's like, she's 21 years old. She's out doing 21-year-old things. No, that was not the case here at all. Everyone came out, including Texas EquiSearch, which is an organization that specializes in like large scale volunteer search. So they organized it all. They came in and they ran operations right from the get-go.
Beautiful.
Local businesses held fundraisers and a reward fund climbed to $25,000.
Wow.
And her family did something that I can understand a lot of families not being able to do. They gave interview after interview after interview. They recorded public pleas. Charlie and Nancy put themselves in front of the cameras over and over and over again, which I can't imagine how exhausting that would be. You don't know where your loved one is. You have no idea. And yet you're putting your shit together as best you can and getting out and doing interviews like that is phenomenal for me. And they did it because they understood the thing that families in this position learn really fast. Attention is oxygen. A case in the headlines stays alive, keeps people looking.
This is it.
Yeah. So it's now been 8 days since Mickey's missing, and there's a break in the case. 2 fishermen had found Mickey's bike almost completely submerged in a body of water known as Whiskey Bay, which...
That's Chantel's, like, that's where she's going to be. Chantel's moving.
Yeah. It was directly under a bridge on Interstate 10. So it was apparent that her bike got there because it was thrown off the bridge. Like,
Okay.
it didn't take a rocket science for that. But what made investigators' hearts drop when they realized this was Mickey's bike, it was 25 miles away from where Mickey had last been seen, which is really far. Mickey
Yeah.
did not drive, because initially you would find a bike and be like, okay, is she around here? Did she hurt herself? Did she fall
Yep.
in? 25 miles away from where she was last seen, that's too far.
That's so far.
She didn't bike that.
No.
So right away they knew that something was up here, because that bike had to have been driven out there and thrown off the bridge.
You're not going on a scenic 1:45 a.m. bike ride for 25
No,
miles.
no,
This is
no.
crazy.
No, and Brett Lee said over and over again, like, she was headed home. She literally said, I got to get home because of Zach's grad.
Yeah.
So she wasn't going for a walkabout or a bike about. It wasn't happening. The bike about. So they pull the bike out and it's sent for processing. And immediately, they didn't even need to send it to processing for this. As they pull it out of the water, they see significant damage to the back tire. It's consistent with there had been an impact on her back tire.
Oh, no.
So they're smart. They know what they're looking for. This looked like she had been hit from behind, hit by a vehicle. And investigators said it was at this point that they figured they were probably looking for a body, not an alive Mickey.
Well, because there's two theories at this point.
Yeah.
It was either like, oh my God, I accidentally hit this girl. I got to get rid of the bike, or something more sinister.
Yeah. And up until that point, they had actually thought that maybe she had had an accident and she was like laying injured with broken legs or something somewhere where she couldn't get help. Right.
Yeah.
That's what they had been going on and almost hoping for. But at this point, they were like, that's not what happened here, which is awful. Several more days go by and they have nothing. So the only evidence they have at this point was her banked up bike and a grainy surveillance video that showed Mickey on her bike and a white truck following closely behind her around 1:47 a.m. So during the initial missing persons investigation, they went to all the businesses around Brett Lee's house and the path that she would have taken home. And they pulled surveillance video. But the problem that they ran into with this is a problem that we see constantly in cases like this. Usually, cameras on businesses are there to protect the businesses.
Yeah.
So the focus is on the front door of the business or whatever. So they do see Mickey on her bike passing by, but it's so grainy because it's out of focus, because this camera was focused on the business. And in that video, Mickey drives by on the bike and a white Chevrolet Z71 truck is following her close behind.
I don't like that.
And the reason they know it's following her is because, and I'll share stills of the video. It's an empty street at night. Okay. There's not a lot of traffic. The vehicle has the ability to go faster than Mickey. So there was no reason for him to be behind her, because he could have
creeping behind her like
like he could have
fucking
pulled
weirdo.
out and gone around her and everything would have been fine.
It gives like, it just, when I hear that, like a car was quietly creeping, it does something to me, because
It's awful.
you know, she would have, because it's night, the vehicle would have lights. She would have been like, what is going on?
Absolutely.
Your alarm
Absolutely.
bells go off, right?
Immediately, like, why is this truck following me on a deserted road?
This poor, beautiful girl.
I know. The police are like, we got to go with what we have. So they put out a notice about this white Chevrolet Z71 truck, because they can see like an idea of what the license plate looks like, but it's so grainy, guys, that they can't get an actual plate number. So they put it out. They're like, hey, we're looking for this Chevrolet Z71 truck. And of course, thousands of tips roll in. Because here's the thing. White trucks are abundant in southern Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll be hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't know someone with a white truck.
Yeah. Even in
So,
the valley where we grew up. Like,
I know, right? Like, everyone has a white or black truck, period.
Mhm.
Everyone.
Period.
Yeah. So they waited through the tips until they came upon one that held some kind of a surprise. They take a call from someone who says, I know exactly what happened. Rocky McGee was driving drunk. He hit her, panicked, put her and the bike in the bed, and disposed of them both along Interstate 10. So police are like, who the fuck is Rocky McGee? Like, this
Yeah.
person literally gave first name, last name. And Rocky seemed promising. He had a white pickup truck. He had already been involved in a drunk driving accident where he killed someone.
Oh, shit.
He was actually at this time waiting for his court date for DUI manslaughter. So this was adding up. So they bring him in and he's like, ain't no way. I was not involved in this. And he lawyered up.
Right
Now,
away, he lawyered up.
Right away, he lawyered
He's
up.
also going into trial. So, like, yes.
You know what? I actually want to take this moment to do like my little PSA for the day, because I don't think a lot of people realize this, and I need this to be so flipping clear. If you're ever in a situation where you've been brought in and they start asking you about a missing person or a murder, get a lawyer immediately. I know you're not guilty. I know that you had nothing to do with this. You need a lawyer stat.
Guys,
the minute that they start asking you, lawyer up.
Could you fucking imagine me getting hauled in?
Guys, listen, you need to understand something about Ashley. Ashley would admit to it because I'd be like, why did you admit to this murder that you didn't do? And she'd be like, the detective had such kind eyes. Like, I'm not joking.
Guys, my anxiety, like, and I also, the more nervous I get, the more I fucking talk.
I know.
These people would know my family history. I'd be fucking telling them, like, the pair of shoes I loved from grade 2 that I stuck the little ringlets up my nose. Like, no. Fuck
Honestly,
no.
You'd be going hard.
Like, I can't, no. So if ever something comes out and I lawyer up, it's not out of guilt, guys. It's because
and this is the
so
thing.
insane.
I think we've been taught that, like, if you ask for a lawyer, it shows that you're guilty. That's not the case at all. No. You need a lawyer in a situation like that. I promise you, you're not going to be able to maneuver this properly. So just get a lawyer. Just get it. Just ask for a lawyer.
Or somehow I would, like, incriminate Chantal accidentally.
They'd show up at my door.
You're like, fuck, she didn't get a lawyer.
They'd be like, she said she was with you and that you drove her to the scene. I'd be like, yeah, let's go. I'll pack my shit. So even though Rocky lawyers up, Rocky goes viral because we are in the age of Facebook and social media. And everyone and their dog sister is like, oh my God, it was Rocky. So it's all over all the community. Think about your community site, which is just a cesspool of nonsense.
My ex-community site. Oh, yes. My Lord.
And the tip line became flooded with calls about Rocky. One of the tips was that Rocky and his girlfriend were involved.
That's so, like, small community. We don't like this person, so we're just going to drag you through the fucking dirt.
And this is the thing where, like, don't get me wrong, Rocky was literally waiting for his court date because he killed someone drunk driving. Okay, Rocky's not my favorite person either.
No.
But guys, just because you're behind a computer screen doesn't mean you can say whatever the fuck you want and think that it's not going to affect someone's life. So they actually, like, end up bringing in his girlfriend too. And she's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. They processed Rocky's truck. They searched for DNA. Rocky and his girlfriend spent weeks in the limelight. But guess what? The original tipster, because they called this guy back in because they were like, we're doing all the work and we're not seeing any proof that Rocky did this. And the original tipster says, I'm sorry I lied. I just don't like Rocky. We went to school together and he's a piece of shit.
This is what I fucking mean. This bullshit.
So, now, and again, I'm not saying Rocky's my favorite person.
No.
He had nothing to do with Mickey's disappearance.
So
and
now you've slowed down and you've slowed down an investigation.
Yeah, exactly.
Idiot.
So they're back at square one, but not for long. A week later, they received 2 tips back to back from completely separate people pointing the finger at the same guy, which immediately that gives a tip credit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're pointing the finger at Brandon Scott Laverne. Brandon was a 33-year-old mechanic that worked on offshore oil rigs.
Okay.
The first tip comes in from a man who's like, I'd like to remain anonymous. Okay, fine. He says, I don't know if there's anything here, but Brandon's been acting real weird since the night Mickey went missing. And he had gone to New Orleans around that time. And when he got back, he had stab wounds. And police's ears perk up because they're like, sorry, what? He's like, yeah. He came home from New Orleans, said he had been mugged and robbed while he was there at a gas station, and that's where the stab wounds came from. But it wasn't sitting well with the caller. Like, the caller was like, something's off. And so they talk to this person a little bit more, and they're like, hey, you seem to have like real personal knowledge about this. We'd love to know how you know this. So finally the man says, okay, fine, I'll tell you. This was Brandon's soon-to-be father-in-law. So his fiance's dad had called in a tip, being like, dude showed back up with stab wounds, saying he was mugged. And the father-in-law said Brandon had no reason for why he was in New Orleans. So I guess father-in-law was like, why were you in New Orleans? And Brandon was like, well, I just went for a little, I don't know. Like,
could you imagine? You're like, so Ash, what were you doing in Florida? I'm like, well, I just went up there, what?
I'd be like, do you want to try that again? Like, similar to this episode. Would you like to try that again?
Right?
And the second tip was equally damning. It was from an employee at a car dealership who said Brandon had come in around the time of Mickey's disappearance and wanted to purchase the exact truck, make, model, and year of the truck they were looking for. Which, whatever, you like that truck, that's cool. Brandon had told the employee that he had owned that truck, but it had been stolen and he wanted the same one. But what actually pushed the employee to call in the tip was during their interaction, a TV in the dealership was playing a segment on Mickey. And apparently, Brandon got white, really nervous, and ran out of the dealership.
Ran? He fucking ran?
And, okay, so this might offend you.
Me?
When I was reading this, I was like, oh my God, that's totally what Ash would do. Like, you suck at hiding shit so bad.
Yes. I would be out of there so fast.
She would be like peeing her pants. They'd be like, ma'am, are you having a medical emergency? She's like,
yes.
Maybe.
I'm having a medical emergency.
Yeah. So enough that the employee was like, I got to call this in. That was weird as fuck. So detectives start detecting in the background. And you know what? If there's anything that I have learned from this podcast, it's how sneaky detectives can be.
I love it.
Because I think before, like, deep diving into all of these cases, I was under the impression that like once detectives were involved, you knew that detectives were involved. But that's not the case at all. A lot of like, it's like an iceberg. Like a lot of what detectives do is behind the scenes, and the person they're detecting doesn't have any idea that they're looking into them. So that was the case here. So they start digging into Laverne, starting with the gas station Brandon claimed he was mugged at. So they actually drive to it. They go in, they're like, hey, who's the attendant that was working that night? They talk to that person, pull their video footage, and guess what? Not Brandon nor his truck are seen anywhere near that location. And the gas attendant is like,
I think I'd
some
remember someone
crazy,
getting
yeah. Like they were like, some crazy shit goes down here. But I'm pretty sure I would remember some guy being stabbed multiple times. It didn't happen.
No.
So police are like, okay. Guess what else they found? Brandon had an escort addiction.
Brandon, you dirty dog.
Yep. So he would literally leave his fiance's place and call up an escort to meet him for sex, like after he left his fiance's.
Oh.
And another thing, Brandon had girlfriends everywhere. In every town, in every city, all over Louisiana and Texas.
Listen, I do not care what people do, but if you're engaged or married,
yeah, can we not?
Can we fucking not?
Just don't. I know. But all of those things paled in comparison to what they found next, because Brandon Scott Laverne was a registered sex offender. He was convicted of sexual battery in the year 2000. Ash, he raped and blindfolded and gagged an 18-year-old girl.
Oh, so he's just a piece of shit all around.
He's a tier 3 sex offender, which is the worst you can be.
Yeah.
So,
fuck this
they're
guy.
like, Brandon Scott Laverne, you're a bit of a fucker. And although this all looked not good, being an asshole does not a murderer make. Because like all those things look, you're a piece of shit, doesn't mean you're a murderer. So they turn their attention to his truck because they're like, we got to find that truck.
Yeah.
The employee at the dealership had said he had reported that his truck had been stolen in Texas, and they claimed that they did see the check from the insurance.
Okay.
So they're like, perfect. We'll try to track it down that way. So they call the insurance company and found where in Texas it had been stolen, and they call up the sheriff. They're like, hey, can you tell us a little bit about this truck that went missing in your jurisdiction? And he says, oh, actually, we found the truck, but it had been torched. So despite this, Lafayette sheriffs had the truck brought to their lab so they could see if they could pull anything, but there was nothing left, Ash. They said it was a charred box. You couldn't even tell what color the paint was.
Oh, shit.
So if there had been DNA, it was long gone. It was not, they weren't getting that.
Because that was what the whole plan was. Let's get rid of all of the evidence.
Exactly. But these detectives aren't in the habit of giving up. So now they had his plates. So they ran his plates to see if they could get a hit on anything. Because remember, they cannot decipher the license plate number in the grainy video.
Right.
But now they have Brandon's plates. So they're like, let's just run it. Let's just see what comes up. And sure enough, about 8 hours before Mickey went missing, they find a traffic camera that has Brandon visible in his white truck. And in the bed of the truck, there's a cooler and a fence post. So they're like, all right, looking at the time, this was 8 hours before Mickey goes missing. They circle back to the last known footage of Mickey on her bike, and clear as day, in the bed of the truck, they can see that cooler and a fence post. Just like Brandon's truck on the traffic cam.
This just tickles me. Okay.
But as they might say in Louisiana, there's more than one way to skin a catfish. So
They
they
say that
bring
in
in,
Louisiana?
I don't know, I just made it up.
Everyone from Louisiana
It
is
was
like,
a
what?
play. It was a play on there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Fish.
There's more than one way to skin a catfish. So they bring in Brandon's fiance. The interview starts with her saying, Brandon is so gentle, kind, and compassionate. Like, he's such a sweet man. I'm so blessed. She says, and they're like, has he ever been violent towards you? Like, what happens when you guys fight? She's like, oh my God, no. He's never raised his hand or even his voice at me. And then they broke this poor woman's little heart because they start like telling her about all the shit. And I listened to the whole interview and it's just like, because this poor girl, she had no idea, Ash. She thought this was a sweet man. Yeah.
But her dad saw something.
I know.
Good job, Dad.
So in the interview, they finally get around to telling her, like, we're arresting Brandon on suspicion of the murder of Mickey Shunick. And she breaks down.
Of course.
She breaks down. I just, ugh. Like, you can hear she's in actual shock. She can't breathe. Like, it's awful. Like, my heart just broke for this poor girl.
And then to find out the man you're about to marry is a fucking registered sex offender.
And a murderer. Like,
no.
Oh, this poor girl. I know. All right. July 18th, 2012, a Lafayette Parish grand jury indicted Brandon Scott Laverne on first-degree murder. But Ashley?
No.
He was indicted on 2 counts. One for Mickey Shunick, which everybody expected.
Right.
And one for a woman named Lisa Pate from 13 years earlier in 1999.
What do you mean?
So she went missing in June of 99. Now, the connection between Lisa and Brandon is different from Mickey's. And this is important, so I wanted to be careful and establish this. Mickey Shunick was a stranger to Brandon. She had no idea who he was. He saw her on the road and took her and did whatever. Lisa Pate was not a stranger in that same sense. When Laverne was indicted, DA Mike Harrison told reporters that authorities believed the two of them possibly knew each other, but he was explicit that the extent of it was not clear. Here's what the court record does establish. In the summer of 99, Laverne met Lisa in Lafayette Parish. Reporting on the plea proceedings indicate the two of them met at a hotel. From there, according to documents, he persuaded her to go with him to a location out of town. So he was like, oh my God, I really like you. Why don't you come with me? We'll have a weekend together. And they were at that location together for several days. At some point during those days, Lisa said, okay, this was fun, but I want to go home. Can you take me back? And he wouldn't let her go.
Oh my God. The fuck out of here.
Yeah. So that was the moment where like it went from whatever it was to non-consensual everything. Prosecutors alleged in their filings that during this period, Lisa was subjected to non-consensual acts, physical injury, and sexual abuse.
Okay.
They believe he killed her on and around July 3rd. The manner of her death is described a bit differently across the record. So I'm going to go through both of them because I want to make sure that we give Lisa attention as well.
Yep.
The account tied to the plea document indicates he suffocated her using a plastic bag over her head, which could be one of the worst ways to inflict suffering on someone. Other reporting on the same court statement describes him tackling her, beating her, and choking her, with Lisa dying shortly after the attack. So she died from her injuries.
Okay.
What is consistent across every version is that he assaulted her physically and she died at his hands while she was trying to leave wherever the fuck they were.
Yeah. Okay.
He took her body to a spot behind the home of a former acquaintance and covered her with 3 large boards. She wasn't found for 3 months. So when they found her, they actually had to use dental records because, like, she was out in the Louisiana
and
summer.
the heat. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So he was initially indicted for this, but everything was dropped due to lack of evidence. Because of course she had her DNA was all over him.
Right.
They had been together for days leading up to it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it was dropped. Now, he did spend from 2000 to 2008 in prison for that sexual assault, but this was just before that.
Yeah.
So if we're keeping record here, we've got Lisa, who was murdered in 99. Then in 2000, he raped that 18-year-old girl, went to prison for 8 years. Now he's gotten out. It's a couple years after he's been out. And we've got Mickey.
Now, could you imagine had he not been charged with the rape of that one girl? I bet you he would have left a trail of bodies because he's a serial rapist. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm pretty confident saying that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's now late July of 2012. Brandon Laverne is indicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder. Prosecutors have filed documents describing these killings as especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel. And they've made clear they intend to seek the death penalty on both counts.
Amen to that.
But Mickey is still missing.
Right. So you can't. Here's the thing. It's basically, we're assuming he killed her.
When I was listening to the Dateline coverage of this, one of the prosecutors says something that I was like, fuck. In a case like this, it has to be beyond reasonable doubt. Okay. And without a body, you cannot tell me with certainty that Mickey's not going to walk through that door.
That's right. So death penalty's off the table.
Right. So her family, Mickey's family, makes a decision that I think about more than almost anything else I've thought about during this case, because Charlie, Mickey's sister, said publicly, cut a deal with him. We want Mickey back. We don't need the death penalty. We need Mickey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this family is so strong, because I don't know, Ash.
I'd cut a deal. You want to know what happened to your baby or your
and
loved
you
one.
Want, like they were saying, like they felt so empty because they didn't even have a place to go see her, to visit her, to. So they're like, please cut a deal. We want to be able to bury her. We want her back with us. And so a plea agreement was negotiated, and the terms were specific and they were not soft. In exchange for life without parole instead of the death penalty, Brandon had to do 2 things. He had to take investigators to Mickey's body, and he had to reenact with police exactly what happened that night.
Okay.
On August 7th, 2012, following Laverne's directions, Lafayette investigators drove out to Evangeline Parish, out past Mamou, off Louisiana Highway 10, into that rural stretch between Riddell and Oakdale, to a wooded area near an old church cemetery. And there, under branches and debris in a tree line, where a man was too injured to dig, which we'll get into in a second, he had abandoned her 80 days earlier. They found Mickey. She was recovered from the scene by the Lafayette Parish Coroner's Office that evening and brought back to Lafayette Parish. And they confirmed identification. It was Mickey. On August 17th, 2012, Brandon Scott Laverne stood up in a Lafayette courtroom and pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder. Michaela Shunick and Lisa Pate. He was sentenced to 2 life sentences without parole and was booked into the Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola. Okay, so that same day, the court document supporting that plea was made public, and that is the document that finally told Mickey's family and all of Lafayette exactly what had happened in that truck. And guys, I am heartbroken by the fact that this world lost Mickey. So please do not mistake my excitement here
I
for
feel
that.
like you're going to tell us Mickey's a badass.
The baddest of asses.
Ah, yes.
All right, so let's get into it. I have goosebumps because this girl just fucking yes. Okay, so he reenacted everything. He said he hit Mickey's bike and knocked her off her bike. When she got off the bike, she was pissed. She was like, you piece of fucking shit. Why would you do that? Like, you've got a whole road ahead of, you know? She was pissed. And he said it pissed him off. So when she came around to the side to like lay into him, he grabbed her and she maced him. Step one, mace in the face.
Love.
Then he got her in the truck.
Shit.
Because Mickey is significantly smaller, okay, than Brandon. Like, she doesn't have a hope. So he pulls her into the truck and she's fighting, she's kicking, she's screaming, she's trying to get out. Then she gets his knife from him and starts stabbing him violently. And not like little cuts. Like, this man had life-threatening stab injuries. She went hard.
Good girl.
As he was trying to get the knife away from her, he grabbed the blade. She severed the tendons in his hand completely.
Yep.
Good. The girl was fighting for her life. After that, they fought with the knife for a while. She stabbed him quite a few times. He stabbed her 4 times and put her in the truck and thought she was dead. So, like, he was driving out to dispose of her. Girlie woke back up. What? Several stab wounds. He thought she was dead. He said she didn't have a pulse, so I put her in the back. She woke back up and tried to fight him again.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, it was at that time he shot her, and that was the fatal blow. But fuck Mickey.
Fuck yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the image that stays in my head that I just can't stop thinking about, where I'm just like, that is the picture of badassery.
Yeah.
Is he couldn't even bury her properly because his hands were so fucked up from their fight. He couldn't grip anything, which is why she wasn't buried in the ground. He just put brush over top of her because she injured him to the point where he could not dispose of her properly.
I love her.
And how incredible is that?
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. Girl fought like hell.
Yep.
And I couldn't be more proud of her. And I know that doesn't bring Mickey back.
No.
But man,
mm-hmm.
I hope her family, her mom and her sister, are so proud of her and the fight that she put up in the end, even though she could not save herself.
Yeah.
But like, she is a substantial part of the reason why Brandon is in Angola. Because here's the thing. Father-in-law would have never called had he not come home with those stab wounds.
Nope, that's true.
So she did it. She did it.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, and like, I got a little emotional when I was thinking about this because, I believe in the afterlife. I believe where there's different realms that our souls live in. And I just kind of imagine Lisa being like, thank you.
Yeah.
After 13 years, thank you.
Yes. 100%.
You would think that this guy would just fucking die. Like, go away. No, he won't stop filing.
Oh, yeah.
So he did all the things, and almost immediately he started trying to take it all back in handwritten filing, stating that December and continuing into January, he claimed he had been coerced into pleading guilty. It wasn't him.
Oh, shut up, Brandon. Nobody cares anymore.
I know.
Get out of here.
He argued that Lafayette Parish was the wrong venue for the Lisa Pate charge, that it should have been handled in Acadia Parish where her body was found. bitch, shut up.
Shut up. Like this fucking guy.
Like, so anyways, his pleas, his appeals, they haven't worked once.
They're not going to.
They're not going to. He's staying in prison forever.
Get fucking cozy,
fuck you,
piece of shit.
Brandon. Yeah.
Idiot.
Okay, before I wrap this up, I want to bring in a little bit of conspiracy because if I can, I will.
Yes.
There's speculation on the World Wide Web that Brandon could have been responsible for the disappearance of then 15-year-old Allie Lowitzer. So we're running late on this episode, so I'm not going to get into a ton of details, but basically she got off her school bus one day and was never seen again.
That would track.
Brandon was in the area at the time. And witnesses say a white truck picked her up.
We would be naive to think that he only assaulted 2 women like that. Well, 3 essentially. So no.
So this is all just speculation online. People are talking about it, but Allie Lowitzer has never been found. And the pieces just add up.
Yeah.
So how many more? And this is the thing. And even Mickey's family was saying, like, in Charlie's interview, she was saying, like, are there more? Probably.
Yeah. Probably. But he's too much of a coward to ever come forth, so.
I know. So this is the story of Mickey Shunick and Lisa Pate.
I appreciate this so much because I didn't know this story. Well, I got pieces of it yesterday.
You got chunks of my brain that I just threw at you yesterday.
Well, I don't know what's going on, but this is beautiful. I love hearing about badass women. I love hearing about victims that fight. Yeah. And I love bringing attention to victims, and you hit every single thing on the head today. So thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you to Abby_Party5 for suggesting this in our suggested case. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all on Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.